An introduction to the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a faithful Jewish man who served in the royal Persian court of Shushan. He had the high-ranking position of cupbearer to King Artaxerxes. Sometime after 443 BCE, the book of Nehemiah was written in Jerusalem. It begins by describing events that happened about 12 years after those in Ezra's account. The book contains 13 chapters that cover events that began in 456 BCE to sometime after 443 BCE. However, the first 12 chapters focus on what took place just within the first year. The events in chapters 1 and 2 began to take place near the end of 456 BCE. Men from Jerusalem told Nehemiah about the deplorable condition of the city's walls and gates. Nehemiah prayed to God for direction. In answer to Nehemiah's prayer, the Persian king sent him to Jerusalem as governor and granted him permission to rebuild the walls. Upon arrival, Nehemiah inspected the city walls. He then gathered the people and announced his mission with the words, "Let us rebuild the walls of Jerusalem." The mission to rebuild Jerusalem marked the beginning of the 70 weeks of years mentioned in Daniel's prophecy. At the end of 69 weeks of years, the Messiah would appear. Chapters 3 to 6 recount the rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls and gates despite enemy opposition. Did you know? A large workforce of men and women repaired the estimated 2,600 meters of walls with its gates in just 52 days. Chapters 7 to 12 show how Nehemiah and Ezra took the lead in helping the people return to true worship. The people gathered to hear the law being read and explained. Next, the 8-day festival of booths was held. After this, the walls of Jerusalem were inaugurated. Nehemiah continued as governor of Jerusalem for 12 years before returning to his duties under King Artaxerxes. Chapter 13 tells us that Nehemiah traveled to Jerusalem a second time, only to find that the Jews had not kept their promises to Jehovah. He then took decisive action to correct the situation. As you read this stirring account, notice how Jehovah used a Persian king to accomplish his will. Observe how Nehemiah's zeal for and knowledge of God's law led to blessings. And note how the rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls became a key to understanding an important prophecy in Daniel that pointed to the appearance of the Messiah.